Hey, it's Greg Lamb here, bringing you your cloud accounting news, reviews, and how-tos. I've got this problem. I want accounting to be automated, but I often find software just isn't smart enough. One thing I want automated is the entry of auditable transaction records. I want the purchase details of the tablet I bought from Amazon to be entered into my accounting software without me having to do anything. Furthermore, I want the digital receipt to be attached to that record as well, in case of an audit. Right now, there are two ways that transaction records can be automatically entered. The first is via a bank feed, which is a connection to your bank that imports your bank account and credit card transactions. Most accounting software can use a bank feed and algorithms to automatically create transaction records. While this can work for the majority of transactions, it won't work for all of them. Since this method doesn't attach receipts to transactions, these records can't stand alone in the case of an audit. You need receipts to prove the transactions are real. The second way to automatically enter transactions is via expense add-ons. You start by submitting your receipts via smartphone, email, or file upload. Some add-on software can even log into your vendor accounts and download receipts for you. The add-ons create transactions by analyzing those receipts. This can work well, but transactions are not always 100% accurate when done this way. Also, what happens when a receipt goes missing? Lastly, most expense add-ons will group receipts together in an expense report that will then show up as a single bill in your accounting software. The grouping of receipts makes it hard to reconcile the bill against your bank feed, since your bank feed will show many transactions while the bill is only a single one. So neither bank feeds or receipts are sufficient on their own. The automatic entry of auditable transaction records can't happen unless both bank feeds and receipts are combined. I'm looking for a system that can easily gather receipts, match those receipts to transactions in my bank feed, and then attach those receipts to the automatically created transaction in my accounting software. We just landed spacecraft on a comet 311 million miles away, hurtling through space at 84,000 miles an hour. I'm fairly sure what I'm looking for can be done. As it turns out, the expense add-on Tallie is mostly able to do this, to capture receipts, match them to a bank feed, and push out the transactions, complete with attached receipt, to QuickBooks Online. Here's the quick rundown of how Tallie works. Tallie has a very simple interface, which I say in a positive way. Less is more. As the instructions say, you can drag a receipt in, click and upload one, or email it in using a general email address, receipts@usetallie.com. There's also apps for both iOS and Android that let you capture receipts via your smartphone or tablet as well. So it's easy to get your receipts into Tallie. To get your credit card information in, you can click on credit cards. Once you connect to your credit card, you'd select Company Pays This Card, Non-Reimbursable. By checking this, it allows transactions to be exported as individual transactions, making them easy to quickly reconcile in QuickBooks Online. If you don't check it, transactions will show up in QuickBooks Online as a single bill, which means you'll have to manually reconcile many individual transactions to the single bill. That's a lot of work. You'll also want to check Auto Import so that transactions will be automatically created. Lastly, you choose the statement start day of month. Tallie will use this date to create your credit card's monthly expense report. The report looks like this. The next step is to get your receipts into Tallie. When you upload a receipt in Tallie, it will take anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes to process. During processing, Tallie is extracting the vendor name, date, and amount. If Tallie has seen the vendor before, the expense category may also be filled out. Now, this is where the magic happens. Tallie can match up those transactions from your credit card to the receipts you've uploaded. When this happens, your expense report will look something like this. Tallie figures out that there's a possible duplicate. By clicking on the warning, you'll get a view of the possible duplicates. I really like this approach to duplicates, as you can clearly see the two transactions. By the way, this credit card icon signifies that the transaction came in via the bank feed. The only thing I don't like about this side-by-side view is that I can't click on the receipt to get a bigger view. With the duplicates, you have two options: merge or keep both. Merging will attach the receipt to the credit card transaction. Provided you check to see the match was accurate, you're left with a single auditable transaction. After you verify and merge your transactions, the next thing you need to do in Tallie is submit your report. Then approve your report and then export your report. For a micro business, this process can be a bit tedious, but for a small business with employees and multiple people handling expenses, the auditing of records is necessary. So let's go ahead and submit this report. Next, I'll approve it. And now I'll export it. Once the transactions are exported to QuickBooks Online, you can find them under Transactions, then Expenses. If you click on a transaction and drill down into it, you will see some good extra information. The description will contain the date, expense account, and merchant, or in other words, vendor, name found in Tallie. The memo will contain the same information plus the credit card used and the expense report the expense was a part of. Lastly, provided a receipt was attached to the transaction, the receipt will also be attached to the expense as well. If I now go to the banking page, which is under transactions as well, I'll see matches for all the transactions. To accept them all, I check them off, click on Batch Action, and then on Accept Selected. And that's it. That's how you use Tallie to almost automatically create auditable transaction records in QuickBooks Online. There's a lot of details that I didn't dig into in this video, but I do have a blog post on the Sleater blog that does. So please check out the Sleater blog for even more information. And that's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe for the latest in cloud accounting. I'm Greg Lamb, aka the Small Biz Doer with the Sleater Group, and I'll catch you on the flip side.